Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. We're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
How is everybody doing today? I'll tell you what, we have moved on up to the east side. This is our debut morning show, Nerd Bacon. So we had this idea this week to kind of move our Tuesday night show to a Thursday morning because it's a little easier for me to broadcast in the morning. I've got more energy then. So it also worked out because our good friend Dave Brink, it doesn't hail from the U.S. And our normal time would have been like what, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for you?
Normal time, yeah. I think we talked about that, and then it would be very early for me. Yeah, but
yeah. So this works out good for you, right?
I can adapt, no problem. But
We live to serve, Dave. We're all about bringing people, dude.
I notice. Yeah.
So we have got a lot of folks in the chat. Let's say hi to everybody today.
Yeah, say hi
This
to
morning
everybody.
we've got Mike Jimmy. He's filling it.
Hey, Mike.
Bacon. Mike, nice to see you there. Dojo Coon in the house. He is the first. He is declared first, even though we had one more comment before him. The rule is you must declare first. And so he is first.
Brian.
Hello. Thank you. Oh, that's us here. Brian K. Morris is in the house. What's up, Brian? Good to
Hey,
see you
Brian,
today.
you can heckle me for a change. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mr. Joe D. McPhee from the desk of a small press publisher. No broadcast. Guess what?
Yeah, we're
Mike noticed
projecting
it
this in
happened
your
right as he
mind. It's
typed
all
it.
an illusion.
Yeah. That's right. Check it out. That's awesome.
Sorry.
Premiere time, yeah. More Brian K. Morris is in there. Daphne Lage is with us today. Even as a lactose intolerant vegetarian, the smell of bacon is the bomb. Yes, and that's why so when we was coming up with a name for this show, Dave, you might like this. I literally just come up with it on the spot. I was texting Nick. I said, we got to come up with a clever name for the show like Nerd Bacon. And it just like came out because I love bacon. I mean, come on, bacon.
That's how the best ideas happen, man.
Right. I would have been I would have been a terrible Jew. I would have been. I'd have been like bacon, ham, pork butt. I would have been a terrible Jew.
Pork butt, man.
Yeah. So I thought bacon's great, and this is for nerds. So nerds like bacon too, but this is bacon for the soul, I think, isn't it?
Bacon for the soul. I love that.
Some soul bacon.
Brian said this intro is making him hungry. I
Now,
understand.
we're going to keep talking about bacon just to make sure that everybody stays hungry,
Keep hungry for the bacon.
Keep hungry.
Then we got Daniel Morales. I love bacon in the morning. Who doesn't? I'm reminded of, and I'm probably going to grab the clip at some point, where Michael Scott in The Office burns his foot on the George Foreman grill because he likes to lay out some bacon at night. And then in the morning when his alarm goes off, he plugs it in so he can wake up to the sound of sizzling bacon.
Yeah.
But he stands up, he gets up and he steps on it. So
He steps in it.
pretty funny, yeah. And then Doja Coon, thank you, Brian K. Morris, Rising Tide.
morning.
We do definitely awesome Rising Tide Network. Crispy Bacon, hail to the chat. Hail to you, Mutt Man. Nice to see you today. Cybersound 434, LOL. Creating Chaos is out there. Yay! This is our brand new splot.
Splot. Yes, that fits.
Splot.
That is the exact
Screw
energy
it.
of what we got
Here
this
we go.
morning. Pure splot. I mean, this is a
That is
formal,
a
highly organized professional program, folks, and don't you forget.
The
Exactly.
most
It's all scripted,
professional,
guys. It's all scripted.
the most professional you'll ever.
Emotional damage.
Hurt my feelings there, Nick.
Sorry, I can't not. That just hits my soul. It radiates with my upbringing. But yes, I just can't get over how many awesome people just swarm the chat.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of people in here right now.
Wow, busy.
And so,
Busy, man.
Yeah. So here's a couple of things I want to let you know. For the first couple of weeks, we are going to be broadcasting out to several different locations. And when I say several, I mean several. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different locations. And most of those are Facebook. Well, we are going to translate everything over in a few weeks to only be broadcasting from YouTube. So if you're out there in Facebook land and you're watching this right now, what I ask you to do is run over to Luke Stone Studios on YouTube and go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when these things go live or when they're going to be scheduled. But we'll be here every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So that's going to be our new lot in life. And so yeah, we have vegan bacon in the Netherlands. Can't say I tried it, but hey, it's there. Mike, I'm going to tell you what, I have tried vegan bacon. Have you guys?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I've had good vegan bacon and
It's
dubious.
cool.
Now it's
Yeah.
not good
Well,
as bacon.
that makes one of us that's had good vegan bacon.
Well, see,
It's
my
cool.
wife's allergic to milk, so I end up trying a lot of different things, and then the doctors don't like that I eat. So, so you kind
I
of
haven't-
rotate things around.
I haven't
Equals
had
best
actual
one.
bacon in a long time.
Really? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've got bacon at the ready here at this house. The Stone House, bacon is at the ready. And sometimes I'll just make like here's the thing. Someone said that they had some leftover bacon. I was like, what? What do you mean leftover bacon? I've never in my life had leftover bacon. Yeah, Mutt Man says, Wheezy equals best wife. Wheezy is awesome. So here's the thing, growing up, I loved the Jeffersons and All in the Family. Those were like my two favorite shows. And also Sanford and Son. I love Sanford and Son. So yeah, I love these old TV shows and the themes. And so here on this show, you never know what you're going to get, but you may get some classic TV intros from time to time, or all the time. All in the Family was technically first, as it was.
Whatever floats your boat, Luke. I'm just here for a good time. Yes, Manatee Man is here. The mighty Manatee Man, master of marketing. He's live in the mornings. Because most mornings I'm heckling Brian K. Morris's Never Mind the Furthermore, but that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I have to do something on Tuesday and Thursday. So, for now,
Yeah.
Thursdays I'm parked right here. This just keeps my
Thursdays.
rhythm.
And that way, now I don't have to miss any of Brian K. Morris's shows.
Right.
You don't have to
See,
miss
we
on Tuesday
actually
night?
scheduled around that. It was
Yep.
a major stipulation of my contract.
Well, you
That
know, I like that Danny is noticing that I'm looking like the Blues Brothers. Well, I got the shades on. I don't really need them, but I just thought I looked better. It draws attention away from my oxygen. But I've got the, I'm decided to start sporting. I got a couple of jaunty hats, because they tell me that Comicsgate is a hat group. And, and so I've started wearing hats, and this is one of my hats that I
Yeah, you look cool, man.
and this is one of my favorites right now, the pork pie. And someone, I can't remember who it was that mentioned it, but it was kind of funny that, they said, well, it's kind of like Heisenberg a little bit, isn't it?
Yes.
He got sick, and then he started wearing a pork pie hat and making meth. He goes, Luke gets sick, so what are you doing? You got the pork pie hat. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you guys.
What he's doing is cooking up the new morning show that you will all love.
But
He's cooking up some
that's
morning
exactly right.
nerd
That's
bacon.
exactly right. Nerd bacon. All right.
I
yeah,
totally didn't want to be a DJ in my youth at all. No, folks. This voice
80s
was
TV
never practiced.
Yeah, Daphne says 80s TV comedy was really physically aggressive. I'm going to tell you what, here's the thing. I watch some of those old Good Times episodes, and I watch some of those old All in the Family and Jeffersons. And the stuff they got by with back then, they could not do now. People just can't. People could not handle it emotionally if
This
we
is
did
the
that.
era of Mel.
Emotional damage.
They just couldn't handle it. I'm telling you. Just it,
Yeah.
No,
just
it's
couldn't
handle it.
and that is okay. Because like I love Daphne's stuff. I've loved her stuff since high school. It's really one of those people. I'm like, wait, is that her? But yeah, the '80s were just an aggressive time. Everything was aggressive. The colors were aggressive. The music was relatively aggressive. You know, it was just everything was out there.
yeah.
Oh,
here's
yeah.
what I love. I'm the one dressed in black, and Nick is in a Hawaiian shirt over
Oh,
here.
yeah.
He's in Indiana, and I'm in Florida.
Well, see, Luke, I don't go online without something bright. It's a rule I made for myself about 2019 when things
Yeah.
got started looking grim.
It's more the
Like-
mindset. You know?
Right.
Yes.
I'm not like I don't go out without a Hawaiian shirt because I always get that one person who thinks it's the short fat guy in the Hawaiian shirt is the funniest thing ever, and they'll laugh sincerely because I walk with a cane. It's not in here, but it has flames painted up the side so I can go faster.
Right.
You know, and because like when the world's dark, you can either be part of it or you can fight against it. I kind of am like the anti-Johnny Cash in that. I don't get to wear black and cool colors because the world needs somebody to be willing to be goofy. And
Well,
if there's one thing I
got
can,
you.
I can be goofy and out there and be like, yes, I am an unapologetic goofball. And if it makes one person smile in this world that we live in, I've done my work, and I can go home and enjoy, whatever I get to eat in
Yeah.
peace,
So Mike is saying that he finally seeing Nick for real.
Oh,
Much
Mike.
better than a picture in the chat. So
That-
that is Nick is one of my favorite people in the world, Dave.
Thank
He
you.
really is. This guy's awesome. When I got sick, he was like, people were asking him like, "Hey, what are you going to do with the engine? What are you going to do with the, with the role playing stuff now that Luke's down?" And he's like, "I'm just going to wait for him to get better." There was a whole lot of people thinking Luke ain't going to make it. Nick's like, "No, he's going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wait till he gets, and then we'll figure out what we're doing."
Man, we're so happy to see you, man. It's
Thank you, I appreciate that.
it's so awesome to be part of this first show after this whole debacle, and you look great.
Thanks.
It's,
I'm putting a little weight.
Yeah.
The beard's gotten grayer though, but
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
going with it.
Dude, we're all running out of toner. Look at this crowd. None
Yeah, I'm
of us
going
are
with it.
spring chickens, man.
I've earned these.
My
Listen to me.
wife earned these. She's very proud. She tells people. She put this here. I used to have a bright red beard. It looked like copper. It really did.
Dude,
And she
so-
just did.
Yeah.
This is wife proudly induced. And I love that woman. There are people. This might shock you. There are straight men who love their wives. We don't see that
I do,
much
yeah.
on television, but we do exist. And what about Dibs? Hey, call Dibs. Call Shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, call it. We'll see. You guys can rock paper scissors. Who's won in the chat? I'm all for it. If you abuse us in the chat, it's more content we don't have to worry about making.
Oh yes. And ask your questions. I'm very excited that you are here, Dave, for our first show. Because here's the thing, I got Perfect 10 as a digital reward on
right.
the last campaign. I'm going in full on this next one. I want print copies and all of that stuff. This
Excellent.
book, it's the Captain Marvel that I
No,
want.
no. New Captain Marvel? What?
No, it's the Captain Marvel that I want.
Okay.
Oh,
That we
Sorry.
deserve.
I-
That we
You-
deserve.
Oh, okay.
Not
okay.
the one we got.
Right.
It's the one we deserve. I mean,
I'm
this is
sorry.
good
404 Nick not found for a minute there. I'm sorry.
stuff. Everyone's like clutching their pearls. I
Wait,
gotta
wait,
listen
wait.
to every word I say, guys.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was starting to go, wait, have you been replaced? Did somebody? Whoo!
It's a body snatcher. Yeah, good to see you too there, buddy. I'm so happy to be here. Hey, Heckle Nick. Yes.
Yes.
Let's heckle Nick
Yes.
today if we can. Nita's in the chat. Good to see you there. Mike's still. And just feel free to even self-promote yourselves today,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. This is whatever floats you in the morning. Speaking of Mike Jimmy, I have 2 YouTube channels of my own, and you haven't seen. I'm sorry, I find that funny. On Friday nights, I do the Historical Fencing Guild at 8 to 9 Pacific. God, I looked at him and said Pacific Eastern Standard Time. And then I have an art and I do stop motion under the Nick Tucker channel, Nicholas Tucker.
Stop motion.
Yeah, like,
Doesn't that take forever?
yes, it does.
Well, we got Pal Rodericks. I think I'm saying that right, Rodericks.
Our Rodericks, yeah,
And
man.
in the chat there. And he's
He's my
saying,
brother.
my man is here.
Our Rodericks.
Brilliant. Dave.
Awesome.
And Dave Brink
Welcome.
is brilliant. He is brilliant. And where do you live,
I?
Dave? Yeah, what
The Netherlands.
continent? The Netherlands.
And Pau's from Brazil.
You're from Brazil. live in
No,
the
I'm from the
Netherlands.
Netherlands. Pau is from Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of colleagues that I work with in Brazil.
Right. Yeah. Brazil, man. They know how to draw and how to
Yeah,
work. It's
They really do. And they got a good work ethic.
Exactly.
They do. Some
Yeah.
American artists are a little lazy. They're like, I'll get that done someday. I'm like, well, someday for me
Someone
was
else
like a
will
week
get
ago.
your
So
pay.
I'm going to have to hire somebody else. Sorry.
I've never had any problems with Brazilian artists that I
Me
hired.
neither. Nigerian artist. Terrible experience with Nigerian artists.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. But I
But
believe
Pau
it or
was
not,
fantastic, man.
I ship a lot of books to the Netherlands. And by a lot of books, I mean one.
Hey, here. Send here.
I've shipped a book to the Netherlands.
You will ship more, man. Next campaign, you will ship more.
I think so. I think I will. We got Elliot Rodriguez art in the chat today.
Awesome.
Hello, Elliot.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
A lot of good people, man.
A lot of good people.
Good
got a lot of
people, and I
followers.
like the crosstalk. That's the sign of a really healthy chat when people aren't just saying hi
Yeah.
to you. Like, it's our first time we've been on less than 20 minutes, and people are like, "Hey guys, oh hey everybody else in the chat." This is a good.
Yeah.
That's a foundation, folks.
It's a new time slot also. So
Yeah.
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 Especially,
Great.
yeah, we got people watching right now. It kind of fluctuates here or there, but, we're doing pretty good. So the dad in good times would whoop that butt if kids got out of line. Yes, he would. And I'll tell you what, I just, I relate so much to that show, which is funny because, I'm a white guy from Indiana. But I relate to the Good Time show because we were poor. We knew what it was like to be poor. And I think my favorite episode of all time is when he paints that picture of Jesus, black Jesus, and his mom's got white Jesus on the wall. Well, they take down white Jesus and put up black Jesus, and then good things start happening for him. and then they realize that when he painted black Jesus, he painted like the hobo guy down the street, or like the wino down the street, as Jesus. Man, it's such a good episode.
Man, there's some accuracy. I mean, don't take that wrong, but there's some accuracy there with that. Like,
Yeah.
folks who read the book, I dig that.
Yeah. So here we go. Those shows gave it to you as raw as possible. Yeah, they did. And I loved it. And then we have Mel Brooks, Norman Lear, Carl Reiner, TV gods. Yes, they were. Oh, especially Carl Reiner. Wow.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
just good stuff they did. Ed Amos was definitely a dad to reckon with. Oh, yeah. Thanks for popping that in there. That's a good
a lot of
reference.
shows, a lot of people you were mentioning that we never got here. In the Netherlands, we got many shows from America imported,
Yeah.
but not the show that you're talking about.
Yeah. I like that Doja King says this. He says, when you become an adult, people never ask you if your new tennis shoes make you run faster. And that, they just don't even care anymore. And you know what? Here's another thing. They stop asking you what your favorite dinosaur is, too.
Yeah.
I think we should bring that back. Oh,
Well,
do those new shoes make you run faster?
Hey, Dave, you're our guest.
Yes,
What's your favorite dinosaur?
the Tyrannosaur.
Classic choice.
That's
It
a
is
good
boring.
one.
It is boring. It's the most. Yeah, you know, it's of course. But I happen to have one character called Tyrannosaur. He is in the Perfect 10 book, so
See,
it was
beautiful
obvious. You
lead
know?
in.
Yep.
That is a, you know, Luke. I find myself asking: is this the time in the show where I should be asking you what's buttering your biscuit today?
Not yet, not yet, not yet. We
Not
got a
yet.
lot.
Okay, that's
we got
what
a
I
lot.
need to know. We don't
Give me a
have
second.
timing
Yeah, give me a
down
second
yet.
here. So yeah, Daphne says random trivia. Mel Brooks is an executive producer on the movie The Thing, but had his name removed because he didn't want people to think it was a comedy. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
The Thing wasn't a comedy. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
Nick is a living version of Jughead from Archie. Yep, I buy that. Perfect 10 rocks. Yes, it does.
yeah, I'm looking forward. Oh, that.
Doja Kunin, he says he is a perfect 10 backer.
Thank you.
I love a good,
Brian.
like, strong heroine book. I really do. I've always been that way. So yeah.
I
Yeah.
do like that Brian says, you know, it's just not in his nature to self-promote, you know. I refuse to promote myself, namely Comic Book Spectrum every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Review news and full roll. You know, like I like to say here, what we here are all about here is general geekery and tomfoolery. That's where we try to fool guys named Tom. By the way, I know a certain creator that's never been asked on the Comic Book Spectrum. Just saying.
Hint.
Joe Tolliver's here. Nice to see you, Joe. Joe, thanks for joining us. He also says, good to see him kicking. I'm kicking
Joe
with the rest of
Tolliver.
us.
That's a cool name, man.
Joe Rupees. Three-dimensional blackboard. Yes.
I have really, really
wow.
bad internet, so I'm in the habit of having a whiteboard because on the show, some of the other shows I was on, my shtick was if my internet started cutting out, I'd just turn off the sound because the video would work better, and then I'd comment via whiteboard. So, you know, I actually upgraded. This is part of my studio upgrades, folks.
Yeah.
You know,
Brian K. Morris also says, nor will I mention Nevermind the Furthermore, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern on his channel for the superior sound and picture you deserve. Absolutely. Brian K. Morris is a consummate professional. And you should definitely check out his show. It's a lot of fun. It's almost as fun as this one. I have to say almost as fun because, you know, self-promotion.
It's really easy. It's almost as fun when I'm there.
He is one physical backer. Mike is one physical backer away from their next stretch goal on Life of Core number 5.
Next stretch goal. What's the next stretch goal, Mike?
Yeah, let us know what the stretch goal is. We'll pop that up there.
Plushie.
Yeah.
Get your book in more places. Yeah, that's always difficult.
Yeah.
Get them in Spencer.
Yep. About that, that might be a problem. Considering
man.
Spencer's never knew they had bought our books.
That's a strange story, man. Did you know that
It is a strange story.
Randy and Varian also contacted me about that last year?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
No, Perfect 10 would have been great for that.
They wanted to put Perfect 10 in Spencer's, so
It would have been awesome to be there, as would Hybrids and God's
I don't see it
Hand.
happening. I
And
don't see it happening, man.
Death can only save us. But here's my thing.
There's only one thing I hate more than lying. Skim milk, which is water that's lying about being milk.
Hamalana?
What did he say? Hamalama?
Milana? Yeah.
Right.
Wow. You know what? Bad stuff under the bridge. We don't need that. It's morning time, folks. And
Mike, we'll get you on. We'll get you on the show soon, okay? I see Mike's in there. He's got a book to promote. I like. Oh, Doja-kun. Triceratops.
Yeah.
Favorite dinosaur. Go ahead and put your favorite dinosaur in the chat, everybody.
Yeah. And give us a why. I'm curious.
Daphne.
Now,
Stegosaurus.
see, that's an underappreciated dinosaur. I like to see that.
Jennifer Lauder says good morning to
Oh,
the chat. Nice to
all
see
the
you.
dinosaurs taste like chicken. That's how I got over being scared of Jurassic Park. Like,
Oh.
all I need is like a tanker truck full of Sweet Baby Rays and a flamethrower, and Jurassic Park is one step away from becoming a smorgasbord. I am okay.
I'm drooling over here. Between bacon and chicken. Ooh, chicken waffles. That's good. Indie Comics Cast says, what do you call a blind dinosaur?
What
I
do
don't
you
know.
call
Let's
a blind
find out.
dinosaur?
We have a dad joke problem. Where is it? Where's the answer?
What's the answer?
We want to know.
Yeah, we want to know. Nick likes strong heroin. Confirm.
Nope, I don't even have caffeine anymore.
Hashtag crack pack. I do. Hashtag crack pack.
Oh,
My man, a Stegosaurus. In case anybody's wondering.
You're wondering.
We
Make
are
sure-
wondering.
We want to know. See, I'm not sure Plesiosaurus counts, but the Plesiosaur was always my favorite because I was the kid who fell in love with the Loch Ness stories and like the lake monsters.
Ooh, Elliot likes the Velociraptor. I do like the Velociraptor as well. But I think so. One of my favorite dinosaurs growing up was the Brontosaurus.
Nice.
Yeah, but here's the problem: it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they now like, oh, it's a Brachiosaurus. And so I was at a museum, and they had a dinosaur skeleton there, and they had a scientist that was there working on it. And so I said, look, I have a problem with you. And they were like, excuse me? Because I was a lot bigger back then. It was before I lost 80
Bigger
pounds.
than you are now?
Yeah, it was before I lost all of my
Right. Right.
COVID
yeah.
weight. You know, I had muscle back then. And I said, look, I have a problem with you. And they just looked at me. And I go, no. I said, stick with me for a second. I said, my problem with you is this. You told me when I was a kid that there was a Brontosaurus. And now you say there's not a Brontosaurus. There's a Brachiosaurus.
Yeah,
What
it's
happened to
confusing.
the Brontosaurus? And they go, well, here's the problem with that, sir. And they kind of chuckled. We put the wrong skull on the skeleton, and we realized that it was not the right skull later, and then so we changed the name. And I go, hold on a second.
It
You
happens.
told me unequivocally that a Brontosaurus was real, that I could trust the science. That's what you told me. You told
Trust
me
the science,
that
man.
it was real, right? Now you're telling me, oops, my bad. Your favorite dinosaur no longer exists. Well, guess what? I got a problem with that. So now when they tell me trust the science, I go, Brontosaurus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to mention
Don't get me
something to
started.
Elliot Rodriguez, I believe, Elliot Rodriguez Art, who just had the question about Velociraptor.
Yeah.
There is a Velociraptor style critter called the Dionysius, who's basically the proportions that the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park were like. Hey, I'm trying to. Now, the other thing I want to say is, okay, you watch Jurassic Park. Oh,
Nick's covering the nerd part of the nerd bacon.
hey, you know what? I am unapologetic. But okay, now, imagine Velociraptors the size of chickens. They can come in your doggy door. I want you to think about
Screw that.
Yeah, now,
Oh my
now part
gosh.
is that you're going out to the
Terrifying.
bathroom at 3 a.m. and there are a bunch of Velociraptors this tall in your hallway doing the
Forget that. Look who we got. We got Frog G in the chat.
oh, gee.
Dropping the
Hey, Frog.
links. Dropping the links. Frog is awesome. Frog is the superhero of superheroes, especially among us CG folks. We appreciate you dearly, sir. And then we've got Frog G, Hail. I think he meant Hail All.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, hey, that looked like it was typed in proper Nick speak, so I'm here for it. You know,
Yes.
ambidextrous and dyslexic, left and right have no meaning. But
Yeah,
yeah,
okay. Man, I'm
you.
telling you, we got a pterodactyl guy.
Solid.
Yes. Oh,
Solid
here we go.
pterodactyl.
A blindosaurus.
A blindosaur. Oh,
Thank you.
I'll slap
Oh,
my
no,
knee.
that's
for
not
that.
the answer. That's not the answer. Here's
what?
the answer. A do you think he saw
Like
us?
you saw her.
Ah, that's so bad.
I approve. You want bonus points to the person who tried though. You know that was great. I give bonus points. The points don't mean
It's a good
anything, but
effort.
anyway,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like bonus points because don't you like knowing you had bonus points?
I do. I really do. Daphne says the old school dinosaurs were all the rage until Jurassic Park. The Velociraptor sexy. That's
I'm
right.
sorry.
They're like,
I've been in Daphne circles longer than most people realize. You know, so her saying that made Velociraptor sexy is far funnier to me than maybe something. Anyway,
John Westoff says, I think they declared the Brontosaurus is back, baby. Ha ha!
wait, Brontosaurus Gate? Are we cracking a new?
Can we find and confirm that source? That the Brontosaurus is back? Because if the Brontosaurus is back, baby, my whole world just changed.
Oh man,
His favorite
that made your
dinosaur's
day.
Earl. All the abuse he took for being not the mama.
Oh,
I love that sitcom. I love that. Nice reference there, guys. I'll tell you. We've also got my Aunt Gloria in there saying good morning.
Hi,
Good
Aunt
morning to you,
Gloria.
Aunt Gloria.
Hello, Gloria.
Yeah. So I think I'm kind of caught up with the chat.
Wow.
Here, Ellie says, "Thanks for the info, man. It's the nerd bacon for today."
you're
So yeah,
you're
doing
fine,
good.
Mike. Jones.
Oh, Mike says this is gold. All right. And again here, perfect 10. Now would be a perfect time to ask me.
Oh yeah. So what's buttering your biscuits this
Well,
week?
let me show you what's buttering my biscuits this week.
Who am I supposed to trust when everyone sees me as a means to their ends? Where am I supposed to go when I don't exist? How do I know where I belong when I don't even know who I am? I have no real name. I'm just a number to them, a weapon, a pawn in a war I don't want to be involved in. Division M and the Prime Syndicate are two sides of the same coin. They exist because of each other. I exist because of them. I was supposed to be a solution, a way towards peace. But I'm just another problem, a liability, a mistake. I have more enemies than I can count. What am I supposed to do? I can't do this alone. I need friends.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
that just took me.
Just
to
gonna point out hype
cry.
for the perfect booty.
Oh,
I mean the perfect story.
Yeah, man.
Perfect story.
I just received that trailer like a few hours ago.
I gotta
Brand
tell
new
you,
to
I
me
love
also.
it. So, the art is gorgeous.
Thank you.
I mean, I can't say enough how much I absolutely love the art. in
Yeah,
your
is
book.
Pau still here? Pau's in it. It's Pau's work, man. Pau is
Powell's
awesome.
work. Powell,
And Daniel did the colors. Daniel Rodriguez.
Wow, I might have
Man.
to hire Powell for like a little 6-pager sometime. I love his work.
He's busy.
Draws perfect 10. I mean, she's
Yeah.
perfect 10. I mean, great
Exactly,
work on that.
man.
The story
When
is
you call a
great.
book Perfect 10, you need to hire Pau, man.
Yeah.
It's-
yeah.
And here's
You
the
know,
thing. I mean, it's so good. The story is intriguing. This is really, you're going live in a couple hours, right?
in about 12 hours. Yeah.
All right, so here's what I want everyone to do. I'm going to pop this link down into the chat, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to grab that link. Frog G shared it a couple times too. Grab that link. I want you to take it on over and share that on the social media platform of your choice. But I also want you to sign up right now for his mailing list so that when it goes live, you can jump on this project right away. I'm telling you, if you're going to spend money on a comic book, this is one of them that you spend money on, okay?
Oh yeah.
Now, I've got other ones that you need to spend money on too, but this is right there at the top of the list. We'll get to the we'll get to the shameless self-promotion here in a bit.
Hybrid!
But right now, we are talking about Dave Brink and Perfect 10 from Genuine Comics, man. I love what you're doing there. So, is there anything that you want to tell us about the book that we need to know? Take the floor.
Okay, so this new issue, for the people who don't know yet what Perfect 10 is, it's about this lady who is basically created to kill superpowered criminals, but she doesn't want to do that anymore. So she's taken out of the program, but these villains still want her dead. So adventures, and issue. We've had stellar reviews of both previous issues, and one complaint, the only one complaint that we heard, was that it was too short. People wanted more. So with issue 3, we are giving people more. So in the previous books we had this pin-up section. So we've removed the pin-up section, and everything will now be story. So 32 pages. Is filled with story.
Nice work, man.
Yeah.
That's a good offering. And what is your entry price level for this?
The entry price level will be 13 euros. I have to think in dollars. I think about $15.
Okay.
$15 to 16, maybe $16.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad, especially for a great book. Is that the digital?
No, the digital is like $8
Okay.
or $9. I'm not sure. I'm putting together the campaign. Here we go.
Here's the
I
thing.
put it together the campaign in euros and the conversion. I'm not sure.
Here's the thing. You're going to want the physical copy of the book, because I'm telling you,
yeah.
there's nothing quite like a physical copy of a book. Speaking of which, we're going to get back to your story here in just a little bit. But today, 2 people in the chat are going to get some prizes. Okay, so I am going to be giving away a copy of the Arrow Comics version of Hybrids: The Sons of God issue 1 remastered. Okay, 32
Excellent.
pages. This is going to be free. I'll cover shipping. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to be active in the chats, and at the end, we're gonna by random pick 2 of you to win. One of you will win this, and so we'll ship that out to you, and the other one will win a stack of Terraform branded issues 1 through 5. So you get 5 books for free today. Just to
5
say
books
thank
for
you
free.
for tuning in to our first episode of Nerd Bacon. So that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, pretty excited about the kind of the new format and what we're doing. Really excited about Perfect 10 launching
Perfect
today.
10 looks, that has that, it's that Gen 13 feel for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That, because I looked at the art and I saw the opening, of course, zoomed in on Perfect 10, but for an artist to be able to do a really attractive woman and then a whole diverse set of body types that look different is one of those things that you know, like you'll see people where they can draw really hot women and then like Cardboard Joe in the background and everyone else looks so that was really
Cardboard Joe. Yeah.
Well, you guys know what I'm talking about, especially in indie comics. But boy, do I love this premise, and I love the somebody in the middle of 2 forces. I don't know if you're familiar with Fistful of Dollars. It's an old Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
But the genre of one person stuck between 2 very powerful forces navigating their way through to accomplish their goals is just one of those that hits me. And, you know, I love hybrids, so I love the supernatural. I'm just looking at these character designs, just flashing by. I'm like, I want to know about the succubus chick and the dude with 2 faces. And you know,
Yeah.
you don't see creative character design like that in mainstream comics. And
Yeah, man. You know, I love the '90s comics. That's
Yes.
my era, you know. And
Right here.
I wanted to make the book that I wanted to read. I wanted
Yes.
to buy my own books, man. You know,
Yeah.
and so
See,
these comics they need to have like powerful looking dudes and hot chicks
Oh.
and good action and
I gotta
most of
tell you,
all,
Dave, that's why I fell
great
in
story.
love with Perfect 10, because that's kind of my vein too.
Oh, yeah.
I try to tell people like Hybrids is like Claremont era X-Men meets
Right.
Ancient Alien. Saw that right away when I read that. I was like, this is like the 90s version of so many strong, powerful women books that I wanted to read. It's like Witchblade or 90s Wonder Woman, some things like that.
Witchblade's a
It
fab
has
one.
that, kind of has that feel, and that, there's a bit of a grittiness to it, but still just like this high entertainment value. And Dave, you've done a great job. You're a heck of a writer. I just want to
Thank
say
you.
that, because here's the problem that I run into. There are so many comic creators out there that they write, and I hate to say this, but not everybody is very good at writing a comic book.
I think the art of writing is often underestimated. People can draw and they automatically think they can also write. They don't need this writer to make scripts for them. They can do it. Sometimes they can, but it's a completely different skill set. You need to learn to write. I didn't even know I could do it. Like I'm doing this now for 6 years, and my first books, when I look back, I want to do much better now. It's a skill you need to develop, much like drawing.
It
Absolutely.
really is. I started out kind of weak with writing, but I got some good feedback,
Right.
and then I started hiring people to tell me I sucked. That was like, I think that was the smartest move I ever made, was to hire editors.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's been a while since I have written the arc. I'm working on. Oh, so I'm working on issue 9. Issue 8 of
That's
Hybrids
amazing,
Right now.
by the way.
It's getting ready
Issue
to
9.
launch.
Yeah, see,
Right.
that's longevity. That's
Here-
where you start.
Here's
to-
something I do want to show you guys. So apparently it's been brought to my attention. Some people have been afraid to ask the question if I can still draw. I didn't know if I could to begin with, but here, I'll just real quick, I will answer the question this morning unequivocally, so that everyone can see that this page that I have up right here is post COVID art. I just did this last week,
Nice, man.
so
Looks great. So do you feel different now when you draw? Does it come back to you, or do you need to practice more now?
it's slower.
Slower.
It's much slower. Yeah, it's much slower.
Looks
yeah.
great, man.
So this is yeah. So still struggling a little bit with line weights, but this is passable. Okay, I think this is passable, especially once color gets to it. But yeah, so yeah, folks, I can draw.
See, I'm going to
So-
say something kind of maybe unpopular or a bit of a hot take, but I kind of like the difference, Luke.
Well,
I
okay.
think there's a bit of
Unpopular
because
opinion.
you're more cautious. There's a bit more refinement there that wasn't there as much. I think you're because instead it's the difference. I hate to say it, but it's like instead of shooting at a point, it's slowing down to aim. So
Yeah.
there's a sense of mastery actually that it's a little less passionate, but it's more focused in the line work. If that makes
I want to
sense.
go back to this comment. Daphne says that's the beauty of indies. You want books the way you like them. Already right here.
Yeah.
And Daphne is a tremendous creator. Has
Yes.
a lot of things that she offers. Definitely check out her stuff. Feel free to promote yourself in the chats.
Yes, seriously, please, Daphne.
Dave got me into superhero comics. That should say a lot. Yeah. Here's the thing. A lot of indie superheroes suck, but in the particular circle that we run, they're pretty awesome. I found several very awesome superhero books. Man, I've got so many books that I got while I was in the hospital that I have not opened yet. So I can't wait to start opening some of those and sharing those with people. But Ryan says, Ryan is a good friend of mine, and he and I worked on a book called Chronicle. A while back, yeah. And he was writing it, and I was drawing it. And I was really kind of learning the comic chops back then. But so Luke, your voice is getting stronger. Let's get those powerful lungs. We're pushing again. Praying for you and your book creation also. Like your shirt, thanks. Yeah, Ruger.
So what are your plans now? By the way, Luke, with your hybrids now that some things fell through.
Yeah. So it is no secret that the Spencer's deal was a farce. We all have learned that now. Dojo Kun did a great fact-finding mission on that and presented some findings. And he's still doing some research. A consummate professional, that guy. But I would say you could go watch the B-Rose streams and all that kind of stuff to get filled in on kind of some of the... we keep it positive here. Waka waka.
Quit stealing my material, Luke.
That's what I got. That's what I'm working with, right? So, yeah.
Don't make me bring out.
So what we're doing is we are doing and if someone could tag this in the chats, I would really appreciate it. We're doing. There were 9 books, 7 creators that were involved in this debacle, right? So what we're doing now is we've got a thing called the long shots. No fudge, just cream. We are taking all 9 books. We're packaging them together for $25 start out, okay? So for $25 plus shipping, you can get all 9 books. Daphne's got a book in there. J.D. Rosario has a book. Russ Leach has a book. J.D. Calderon has a book. Randy Zimmerman has a couple. I've got one, obviously. And then the Wolfpack, they got a book in there. And I'm telling you, it's good stuff. These are, quality books, really well printed. As one of you will find here in a couple of days, as you get a copy of Hybrids. So even though you're getting a free copy of Hybrids, that's going to be in that bundle today. I suggest you go ahead and grab all 9 books.
It's just worth it. Oh no!
Then you'll have an extra
copy of Hybrids to give to someone you love.
Give a copy to someone you love. Here's the thing: people are sharing and spreading a lot of hate in the world. You should share some Hybrids.
Hey, why do you think you're in a couple libraries? No, seriously, like a couple. First.
Oh really?
Oh, okay. That's great. A couple of, because I got a couple of these, right? And first thing I did is pay it back by putting it in a couple local libraries.
Yeah.
Because,
that's... Hold that up again. Let's show people what you're... Wait, what you got?
Get that
this is you. You did that.
That looks cool, man.
This is... Now, see...
Nick made a game.
Your art is...
Actually, here's the thing. Nick made another game, a full core rulebook. And Dave, we're going to be working on that later.
Oh, yeah.
This year, that's going to come out. So you're going to be able to make your own hybrid from scratch.
Oh, just
build it just like you do like your rogues and your Jedi or whatever from any of those other
Jedi
RPGs. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, I have this crazy idea that gaming should be fun and things should be useful for more than one thing. I'm a writer too. I do game design, I write things, and I kind of hang out with a lot of superhero guys, so I have to be in that world. I found as a writer, game books are great references.
Yeah.
Because, we have a couple minutes, and I'd really like to hear just a bit of Dave's approach to world building. Because we get there's always, the comics always talk about the artists, because that's what catches people's eye. But as the writer, when you build an entire new fantasy world, I'd love a couple minutes, if you don't mind, telling me about, how you built your world for Perfect 10. And how we can compare that to Luke's world building and Hybrids, just because I think that'll be really beneficial for the viewers.
Right. Well, the world of Perfect 10, the genuine verse, like we call it, it's not really fantasy. So it's not. it's not really building everything from scratch. It's based on the real world, but we have fantasy cities. Like we don't have New York, but we have Grand Capital, because I can do things with the Grand Capital, and I don't live in America. So when I write stories about America, then I don't need to worry about being correct
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
And basically I simply start with characters, and then I look like, what does my world need? So what kind of characters? Some characters just fill certain voids, so it needs something somewhere, and a character can fill that position, and around the character things begin to grow and establish, and before I really know it, I have institutions and agencies that these characters run, or where they work at, and things simply grow.
Okay, I want
And
to say
sometimes
this,
other
Dave.
people come in as well, other creators, and they bring their own characters with their own lore, and
I
we
like
try
how-
to integrate it.
I really like how you describe how you've built that. You started with character.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and when I read Perfect 10, I can see that it is everything that is built in your universe is to support the characters. It is character driven, not plot driven really. It's about these characters, and you really buy in to Perfect 10 and who she is and all the supporting cast around her. Good job, man. I'm telling you. If you're out there wanting to write a comic book, here's my suggestion. I suggest that you buy books like Perfect 10,
Hybrids.
The Lucent, Hybrids. Yeah, I'm gonna push my own stuff.
If you don't, I will.
I haven't read the Lucent yet.
Yeah, there's
I have
a
it
number
somewhere.
of different books. I would even say I just got Adam Lawson's Kill Journal. Read that. These are some stories that I feel really grab and capture that world building through characters. And yeah, definitely, if you're wanting to write a good comic book, get some of these good comic books and look and see the blueprint on how it's done. Great stuff
Yeah,
there.
the problem though with writing through the characters, so is that the characters sometimes can get away with the story. So I have things planned out. I have this plot I want us to go to, but the characters don't want to go there. They want to go somewhere else. So I have to.
You have to make 'em.
So sometimes I have to change the story.
Yeah, you're a GM.
Yeah, I was just thinking how much the GM process is dealing with that. When being an author is being insane because you have all these different people with their own little goals.
I was getting ready to say that about, especially writing a team book.
Oh,
Having
yeah.
multiple personalities certainly helps.
Oh, it does, because like you'll be sitting there and shut up, you won't do that. Yeah, so I absolutely, I love it, and I love seeing the organic processes people who are accomplishing something really cool are doing, because I have so many people who think they can't do it because they see the people who lay out these, it's a grand, you need a high outline. It's like, really, no. You come up with a good story and good characters, they will tell you what happens.
Daphne nails it here. Ain't no one telling us how to do our own comics. My comics are done exactly how I want them to be, with everything I want in them. And that's the thing. If there's not a comic book out there that you want, that you like, you're probably not looking hard enough in the indie world, right?
And
First off. But second, if it doesn't exist, then make it.
thank you.
Make it. Make something awesome. I like to say, every day is a sunny and whimsical day in the land of CG, and just make something awesome. Just make something awesome. Brian K. Moore says, that looks great, Luke. Methinks I need to get some Scarlet Trace going.
Yes.
Scarlet Trace is a book, a pulp book that Brian is writing, and I will be doing the art for, and looking very much forward to that.
I have a week.
Scarlet Trace.
So
Scarlet
yes.
Trace. Cool.
Yes.
Looks great. Thanks, Elliot, for that. I'm trying real hard on the art front right now. Mike says, I'm going to be real with you. I love the thick lines. Good. Thank you.
like
I'm
it
trying
thick.
I'm trying to have heavy outside lines and get my pressure back for my cross hatching. I'm not cross hatching as much or scissor hatching as much as I was, just because I'm finding that my weight is off a little bit, but I don't think anyone's going to notice too bad. So,
Right.
I see. That's what I think it is. You can't walk through what Luke's walked through and not come out having grown. And
yeah,
part of what I do is I help people. This is off topic, but bear with me. I help people learn to sword fight, and I help people who've suffered physical issues learn how to. I've had to basically relearn how to walk, and I've had to relearn how to sword fight due to major injury about 3 times. So when you go through, people think mastery of something, mastery of any art, be it martial arts or drawn arts or literary arts, it comes from going all the way back to the basics and revisiting and re-understanding the basics. And
Right.
people don't get that. It's not secret tricks. It's not. I found this magic brush that I paid so much money online to download, and suddenly my art, the make art better button. No, it's going right back and going back to how is your line work? How are your shapes? How is your composition? And just cycling back. And every time you go back to the bottom and you rebuild, you're better because your foundation is stronger. So I think I'll pull out my crystal ball and say in 2 to 5 years, Luke's going to put out some stuff that will just shake the pillars of heaven.
2 to 5 years.
No, I mean, that's where it's going to be recognized. I mean, like,
Yeah,
where you're going to have to go, do I want to be, is when people start going, is Luke Stone mainstream? That's what I'm
No.
expecting from 5 years.
Here's the
Where
thing.
people will be
I'll
like,
never. Okay, so here's the deal. I'll never be mainstream, and here's why. Because I care about the customer too much. I care about the people who read the books. Now, this is technically a CG stream. Nick, you're not CG. You're not Comics Gay.
yeah,
You
I'm
don't
not,
declare anything.
I don't declare anything so I can go everywhere. It's
Just
not
as
bashing anybody.
your rule, kind of like mine, is just don't be a jerk, right?
Yeah.
Make good stuff and don't be a jerk. But Dave, you're declared, right?
Sorry?
You're declared, aren't you? Yeah. Have you
Declared?
Kiss the ring? Did you kiss the ring?
No, we don't kiss rings, man. Come on.
Have you planted the CG flag?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
CG. When people ask me what is CG, because people associate me with that. Other people basically put me in that camp, and I'm like, that's fine. If they ask me what is CG, I tell them it's having the freedom to make whatever you want to make. So, and the books that I love, I want to make those. So to me, CG is Chris Claremont's X-Men. It's
Yes.
John Byrne's Fantastic Four. It's
Oh, yes.
Raven's Last Hunt. That is
Oh,
all
yes.
CG to me.
Yeah. So and I'm right with you there. And so I actually made the move over to CG because I wanted people to see that there was a lot of negative things going on in that movement when it first came out. Because wherever there's money, there's jerks that want to exploit it. It's going to happen, right? And so, so I have a tendency to, I want people to know that, look, the people that I know and work with, mostly these mid to lower tier creators they're fantastic people. They've got your back. They're there to take care of you and support you in any way they can. And so it's really, that's what I've learned about it. And that's why I declare. But, because I'm associated with this a wonderful group of people, that if you get to know them and don't just listen to what the propaganda says or, what a Google page will say, but actually get to know these people. They're very diverse, not just in the typical diversity, but they're diverse in thought as well. And it's just great to be around some of these creators. But this show, though it's technically a CG show, we're going to feature stuff that's not necessarily CG. Basically, the rule is you just don't be a jerk and make a good book. And we want
one question,
to talk about it.
Luke, you said that you won't ever be mainstream because you want to respect the customer. So,
Yeah.
don't you think that can go together?
Well, it can, but right now the mainstream, they don't respect it. I watched this interview last night, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was talking about the Lord of the Rings, and the interview was something like how to alienate your audience.
Right.
This guy, and it was about a 10-15 minute interview, but he talked about a quote from Peter Jackson that basically said that Peter Jackson said, "We're not making this movie for us.
Yeah.
We're making this."
There was a
for
video with Chris Gore.
Chris Gore. Yes, Chris
Yeah.
Gore. That's it. Yeah,
He's
and
great.
He said, "Did you share that on Twitter?"
I
Is
did.
that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
did.
So that's where I saw it. And so Chris Gore was talking about this quote from Peter Jackson. How he said, "We're not making this for us. We're making this for Tolkien, for him." And
Yep.
and that it was, it was important to stay close to the source material. And then he talked about the contrast and quote from the new series where it said, "We're just going to take this world and make it look more like the world we live in now," which tends to be my problem with corporate mainstream.
Yes.
They don't respect source material, and
May-
I'm not
may I
talking
weigh
about
in for that for just a
including
little
black
bit?
people and women.
No,
Look at our
I-
books. Look at our
I
books.
agree with
There's
you.
plenty of black people and women in our books.
No.
I don't want anyone to make stupid claims like that. I'm talking, look, Tolkien created a world, right? That is timeless. And to go in and to not at least honor that a little bit, that's what I'm afraid they're going to do. Now, I haven't seen it. I don't know.
No,
they might
see,
do a good job of it.
I was ahead of the show. I actually did some research on this one. Shockingly, once again, the door flag flies. They only have the legal rights to use about 100 pages of the Silmarillion as reference, and then that 100 pages has to be 25% different.
Oh,
So
wow.
they couldn't what's happening is they're changing all these things to cover a
Legal thing, okay.
legal thing, but they're being kind of clever in a shady way because it's causing controversy. That's going to make people want to see the show,
Or
because
not see it.
or not see it. It could backflash.
I'm not.
It's
I'm not going to trip over myself to go watch it because I still love the books, even though I think Peter Jackson did a good job on that trilogy. Here's
Yes.
my problem with it. One of my favorite characters is not in the book. That's in the book. It's not in the movie.
Bombadil?
Tom Bombadil.
Tom.
Tom Bombadil. I love that character. I love what he represents. I love that here's this bubbly guy in the middle of this dark, dreary looking surrounding. And I love the character. He's not there. And I understand they had to cut for time and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I get it. Because, the movies were long as it were. But, I mean, come on.
They wanted to include him, but they just couldn't do it. Yeah.
William Pace is with us, saying Luke Stone and Nick, DM extraordinaire. Nick is one of my favorite DMs that I've ever encountered.
I try. I really
Yes.
try. I need
Yes.
just a second because my son woke up.
That's fine.
Okay.
Daphne says, people confuse realism with accuracy. What needs to be realistic are the rules and the mythology your world functions on, not whether the economic system or toilets match our own. That's perfectly said, Daphne.
Right.
You are a very smart and a reasonable person, and I appreciate what you contribute. Did you miss out on Grifted Rebels, Adam Lawson stuff? I did miss out on that, so I hope to get back to that eventually.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, check out the website, griftedrebels.com.
Gifted Rebels. Okay. I'll
Something
check it
for
out.
us to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's now how it works in real life. Well, good thing is I'm not writing about real life then. Exactly, I'm not writing about.
Why do people so desperately want to implement real life into fiction, into fantasy, and it's like you just want to get away from all that shit, man.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
To read a
I love
comic
it.
book, new worlds, new adventures, and not like
I want to get away from reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, I want a place to escape to. And that's what I love about writing, and especially the hybrids world. It's an escape. It's
Yeah,
I
man.
live in, it's like a
You
sandbox.
can make the
I play
world.
play
You
in
can
my
make
hand-
the
in my
world
head.
you create any way you want.
Oh, yeah.
And so these people make it as much as the real world as possible. That makes no sense to me. That's not creating.
So here's a question, and this is a good question. So Elliot Rodriguez Art says, a question for everyone. What is something that you see others do in their comic writing that you don't like that much? Like a common mistake that new writers make. Let's ask our guest first. Do you have something, or do you need to think about it?
Yeah, I think that was a mistake that I made in the beginning, was trying to please the reader. So trying to think what people want to see, and the problem with that is that you can never really know, because the audience is so diverse, and you drift away from what you actually want to write. So, and when I started to just write what I, that's when the stories became better.
Yeah. Nick, what do you got?
One, I love Dave's point. Secondly, for me, it's when they write very flat characters, especially in comics, where it's like you can tell the writer's planning to lean on the artist for the draw, and they're not respecting the story behind it.
I worked on a book like that.
It's a real, and you can feel it sometimes where.
I drew like 24 pages, 22 pages, and the character didn't progress at all.
And
it's rough. So here's a common mistake that I see a lot of new writers make, where they spell out the entire world and the entire mystery in the first 8 pages or so.
exposition dumps.
Yeah,
exposition.
Yeah, exactly.
If I read the first 8 pages of your book and know exactly what the plot is, I don't need to read anymore. I don't.
I hate that in movies also, when they start with this is the world, and the gods did this, and then did this, and then this hero rose, and then we start the story after that.
Yeah.
That's
well, I think sometimes
hate
they
that.
also. I'm going to go back to Lord of the Rings, because Tolkien started out, with a brief history to get you caught up to where you were. Sometimes you need that, but it was brief. Oh, ever so brief. That history was, and but what happens is, like, I've read a book where it's like, and I hate it when, like, one of the characters is narrating what the world is to catch some people up where they're at. I'm like, that is the worst bit of writing that I've ever seen.
Well,
it's like, hi, my name's so and I was commissioned by such and such to start this team, and so over here is this person, over here is that person, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, just shoot me now, okay? Like, I don't even leave some mystery.
Compare that with R.A. Salvatore, very popular, very well known fantasy author. His first book opens up with the dark elf running across the tundra. Like, what is you don't know. You have no clue what you. Like, if you have any background, you're like, these are bad guys. Why is he on the surface? This doesn't make any sense. So I now need to know, like, everything. Please tell me.
Right. Well, so my first attempt writing was Hybrids issue 1. I had come up with concepts and had other people write, because I didn't think I was a writer. But that's what I did for a while. Is I would come up with concepts, hire a writer, and then I would draw it. With Hybrids, it was the first book that I had written, but I'd worked on so many scripts that I kind of knew what I didn't like, but I also didn't know if people were going to like the story, the book at all. So I didn't want to give them too much. Right. I just wanted to give them a little taste of the lollipop, if you will. And so I started out by just, boom, here's this guy, and it's basically a chick. So I kind of, in order to not give away too much, leave some mystery and not fall into the same tropes that I didn't like from all the other scripts that I had worked on. I kind of wrote this, and then that's when critics were like, dude, this was kind of genius that you did this and how you played it out and did the book. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I meant to do that. It
was all planned. Yeah.
That was my, I have ADHD, so I just wanted to write something that I had fun drawing. You know.
Mhm.
I love how especially the first issue of Hybrids, that will always be something very special to me. Like, I love what comes later, and knowing what comes later is amazing. But that's like one of the best perks of my gig is I get spoilers. Like, oh, and then I have
He
to
gets
shut
all
up
the
about it.
spoilers, Dave. He knows
But-
everything. Last night, I was so excited about the ending of the Lifeline arc, which is issue 12, that I was like, I spilled the beans on everything. I'm like, oh yeah, and in book 9, this person dies, and this person dies, and then this happens, and then in book 10, this happens, 11, this happens, and then 12, this is how I end
We
it.
know what happens with Luke and his meds. It equals truth serum. So, like, a lot of stuff just comes out. But that first one, see, I loved, oh, God. Like, Kolchak the Night Stalker. I grew up with that show. I don't know if you got to see that.
Yeah.
And the X-Files.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one thing I love about Hybrids is it's a superhero book, but it doesn't feel like a superhero book. And that's what I look for. Because, like, there's a love. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, likes it. Hey, there's nothing
Mike, Jimmy likes it thick.
nothing wrong with that.
We like
am
our lines
down
like we
with
love
the
our bacon.
thickness.
Thick and sizzling.
But yeah, you look at the DC books. The Justice League comes in and look, it's the Justice League. They're doing Justice League stuff to the point where it's you do crowd control and you do this, and it all feels very, bum 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 bum. It's even when things go wrong, it's very this.
Yeah.
No, Luke will be like, Luke sounds like you're listening to Bittersweet Symphony, and then it becomes Symphony of Destruction at a random point.
Yes. It's a rhythm. There's a rhythm in your writing, and
Right.
sometimes you need to. And that's
And
what I noticed about Dave's writing. There's a rhythm in that, dude. When you're reading Perfect 10, there's kind of a rhythm and pacing to the story that gets you into it. It's well paced.
And you break it. That's the part I love. You build the pace, and then when it's time and when people get comfortable, you shatter it. It's the same thing that makes a good horror, which Hybrids has horror, and Hybrids does horror very, very well.
It's got a
And
little
it does
bit in it.
comedy pretty well, because it's
Yeah.
the same timing concept, which you don't expect. People don't understand that, but from a literary mindset, it's that pace, and here's the punchline.
Yeah.
Now, the punchline might be a jump scare, the punchline might be body horror, or it might be a funny, flirty joke about why Trash Man doesn't wear a shirt. But, you just run into it, and the pacing crumples for a panel, and you're looking at, like,
Dude, I am not going to lie to you.
what
I have been
James
setting up a
talking-
joke in issue 11. I've been setting up a joke for issue 11 since issue 5. I've been setting this. I was like, oh, I want to tell this joke. And I've been setting it up since issue 5.
And see, that's why I'm a sci-fi TV guy. It's why I like Babylon 5 better than Star Trek.
So, Dave, let me ask you this.
That arc.
How far out do you plan your story?
I know the ending, so that's basically most of it. And then I know some key points, some key moments that need to happen, and in between, I can just go with the flow. And it's difficult for me to say beforehand how far in the future the ending will be. That's because of all the stuff that can happen in the middle, which can be very interesting. And if you write something accidentally, that's interesting. You have to explore that, for instance, Perfect 10 was meant to be 3 issues, but then things happened, and the adventures
And
expanded.
we get to have more goodness. Which
Exactly.
is good. I'm never upset when something's going well and it takes longer. But I do get upset when it's not going well and it's not shortened.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, read the room, guys.
So
But yeah.
So what do you mean story-wise? That sometimes things do not really go the way you want it to go?
Sometimes people plan their books out like 10, 11, 12 issues. And they shouldn't. Because it's not going well. That's why I took like this big chunk of 12 issues and broke them down into segments, 5, 4, and 3. So that's
Right.
kind of how I have that planned out with that. But
Yeah.
yeah. So, but you said something. You knew your ending and made your points, and then you fill in the rest. Every
Yes.
good writer that I know has that same formula.
Okay.
So, I don't think
Right.
it's coincidence.
Well,
I
it
think
does
that
happen
makes you a good writer.
sometimes that they have this ending planned, and then the story just kind of happens. Like I said, the characters make the story, and the ending that I had planned never happened because they ended somewhere else, which is also good. Um, uh, but I think you do need some guideline when you start something. You do need
Oh yeah.
to have this plan of where you're going.
Oh,
And then once you have the plan, you can go other directions if you want, but know where you want to go.
Brian makes a great point. I hate comics that won't introduce the characters for the readers, whether it's issue 1 or 100. And that's another problem. People will write a comic book. So you're three issues in, right? But here's
Yeah.
the thing. Issue 3 is probably going to be somebody's first issue,
Yes.
With you.
possibly their
Right.
first comic.
possibly even their first comic. And so you have to, I find it's important to write every book like it might be somebody's first. Make
Yeah,
sure you're putting in
it's-
characters'
it's-
names. If something's
this-
referenced,
this can be
I like to put a
challenging.
little note.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree,
Yes.
Dave.
Yeah, so I'm on
This
book.
can be challenging, especially when it's part of the larger story, and you have to essentially think of this sub story that can go in there for one book, but the larger story continues over several issues, to make it feel contained. And I don't think I always manage.
You're
Very
not- But that's
It can be
not
tough,
necessarily a
it can.
bad thing either, because that mystery can draw people in too. It's funny. I am just now really juxtaposing how much the game design, like running a game, like here's your session, here's the overarch I want them to do, here's your session, is really like writing comics, because you have this be these fixed points. They need to be here because this is going to happen. They need to be here because this is going to happen. And then your own characters are running amok, like, why are you over there? And every once in a while you just have to go, they found something more interesting than what I planned, and danged if I don't like it better. So
Yes.
that's that whole organic writing, creating process.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
Don't force yourself into this direction. Make it
Yeah.
just go with the flow. Yeah. But like sometimes there are even visual elements that can change the story. So I work with Pau, and Pau comes back to me with pages from scripts that I provided him, and he has things that he thinks about that I can't. So then he provides this visual, and it's fantastic. It's something only he can think of, and it inspires me to take the story elsewhere based on what he drew.
right. And that's the beauty of collaboration. And so you kind of, for hybrids, Luke is sort of the one man band. But even though you have your the guy who does the layouts for you, I
Ryan
always
Dawson.
I get to see the layouts, and it's amazing stuff. And seeing that, it's got to be like a director getting really good storyboard work handed back to you, and that back and forth. It's really neat to see the symbiosis between.
Yeah. Well, what's
people.
cool is, so most of all but the last issue had the layouts drawn for them because they're all finished. All the scripts are finished. But I did most of that work well before I got sick. And so to refresh myself, I went back and read what I had done. And Dave, I got so giddy. I was like, oh, this is the comic book a 14-year-old Luke wanted to make. I can't believe I wrote this. I'm like, I can't wait for this to come out. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Elliot is asking Brian, how you would introduce them in an organic way, like through a convo or through things like that. What I like to do is I often will use a character's name in the just so people can get to know, oh well, that's Bone, or that's this character or whatever. And then the other thing that I do is rather than I try to make it to where you can jump in anywhere and start reading. But if there's something that is referenced from before, I just put a little star and then leave a little text bottom at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this refers to this found in issue whatever. So if someone, because with me, I remember back in the day, I would get like a Spider-Man book, and it would reference something that I didn't know about, and it would have that like, reference this issue here, and then I would go and hunt out that issue, and that was part of the fun of collecting, was finding that issue. And so I would find that issue.
It's also something that's more necessary with stories that come every month and are basically contained. Because you don't need to read everything. You can, but you don't need to. But with the stories we do, usually it's one longer story told in segments. And the necessity to constantly go back to what happened before is not that obvious. You don't always need to do that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I've noticed, and one thing I've seen with like your work, just looking at your work and looking at Luke Stone's, the silhouette is so important. The physical character design, if it's done right, you will know, like, you can identify, you can take all Luke's characters and who's that Pokemon in, and just put them in silhouette, and you know who they are and usually what they're about just by the silhouette. I got that, like, I got whole stories and pieces just from watching the video of your work, Dave. I could look at, I'm like, I get what these characters are about right there, because that's one of the honesty things about comics. Now, once in a while, you get somebody who deliberately, denies that convention, but that's part of who they are, and it becomes really cool.
Right.
But
design is so important for the character.
But for somebody coming in, it's like I could look at that, and you can go, okay, that's a very cunning character, because we've been taught a design language, and I do love when the artist and the author get together to make sure that the design language says what needs to be said about the character. So I can open the book up at any page. I can go, that's probably the bad guy. He's the tank. That guy's lurking in the shadows. Yeah, it's like bam, bam, bam. I have an idea of what I'm looking at instantly from that collaborative language.
Right.
I think I've learned a couple of things with character development that I think most people need that solid, definable characteristic in a character. And I try to keep it to one solid, definable thing. Like Trash Man is he's always going to do the right thing. Just because. He doesn't need any other motivation to do the right thing. But other than that, it's the right thing to do. He's a Boy Scout, And,
right.
But there's other aspects to his character that we bring out. But that's always going to be Clarence. Will always be this guy forever. Is he does what's right. And I think that's fun with all these other characters, especially if you're working with an ensemble of characters, to find that thing that makes them.
We need more of that. We need more clear-cut heroes. Just heroes who are good people. In mainstream, they become very rare, or they get changed up to become anti-heroes, or sometimes even villains that you think, what the hell are you doing, man?
I agree so much at the need. That's why the whole Hail Hydra thing made me stop buying Marvel. I had comics in my hand for the first time
ever do that.
And I couldn't. I literally put it. It was like it was burning my hand. It sounds crazy, but I'm like, nope. And I just handsed off and I walked away. I don't think I've even seen maybe one of the new Marvel movies since that hit, because it was so not needed. The other thing, can we have villains who are villainous? Like I am like equally annoyed with well, every villain's really redeemable. I'm like,
Stop making me
they're just misunderstood, man. Yeah.
I like villains that are villains, like Joker. I did like the new Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I thought it was interesting, but really, I prefer Heath Ledger's Joker, where he's just bad to be bad.
Yes.
It's like, come on.
Amazing.
Can we have Mark Hamill's? I'm sorry, the best Joker is the animated Mark Hamill. Crazy, like, just pardon my French there, even though it's implied, crazy. Where it's Lex Luthor's another great character. Lex Luthor is never good. He may do the right thing because it profits him,
right?
But he's never the good guy.
Yeah.
I do want to say go and check out Life on Korra. Mike
absolutely.
Check out his book. It's good stuff.
I'm a sucker for world
Brian K.
building.
Morris is there. Thanks, Frog G, for shouting out those links. Make sure you subscribe, and do all that stuff for all of for that. And then,
are you doing good, Luke?
I am. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Captions that describe what the artist already put in the panel. Yeah, that's a mistake. That's definitely a mistake.
Oh yeah. Don't do that.
And Mike Jimmy was saying that the other problem is writers that try to convey the emotion through the eyes only. Yeah, you know what? That's really, really hard to draw. You know what? An angry eye and a sad eye.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to
need
get
to pull out your book of micro expressions and open that bad boy up.
Yeah, man. The way characters move, that can say so much. There are scenes in Perfect 10, and Pau gets that. There are scenes when a character comforts this other character and he says something, and Pau just drew the character placing their hand on the shoulder of the other character to visualize the connection that they had. I didn't write it down. It was just that Pau reads it and he feels it and he puts it to paper.
Well, that's what a great artist processes that, and they're dynamic in everything. Because that other kinks. I hate when people don't spend the infinite budget that a comic book has. It's like you can do anything.
It's like why are there 8 pages set in a cafe?
I mean, I can understand if that's what the story needs, but if you're doing action or you're doing grandeur, do it.
Yeah, the thing is, everything that the characters do, at least that's my philosophy, needs to move the story forward.
Yes.
So if you can have them talk and so they have dialogue that's pretty important to the story, but they also, while they talk, they can do something that progresses the story also.
Yes.
Sitting down and just talking is taking the entire secondary layer away. It's
absolutely
a waste of space.
Your art is
sometimes
amazing,
the art
Kyle.
changes the end of the story, huh, Dave?
But
Matt says we like to do character profiles, but we put them at the back of the issues. That way there's a profile for new readers. That's not a bad idea.
Yes.
That is actually really smart to do that. I have the names of characters with their faces in the front of some of my books. Just so that
I loved reading those old profiles that Marvel had sometimes in the comics. Those character sheets, I love that, man.
Oh yeah.
Daphne's got to go. A lot of people are heading out. Here's what I want to do. Okay? I want to talk about a couple more things and make sure we've got some people in the chat. We're going to give away. Let's pick some names right now. If you are currently watching in the chat and you would like one of these prizes, what I want you to do is comment right now. Say, give me books. Say, give me books in the chats right now, and we will pick one of you.
Too?
Yeah. Just give me books.
It's that easy, huh? Come on, guys.
Yeah. And now we're all just like watching.
I'm here for it. Yes, you are. Okay, so
Danny Morales.
Danny,
books.
Danny's first. There we
So
go.
we got one there. Danny's the first one to. While we're doing that, while we're waiting for Give Me Books, I do want to show you guys something.
Whoa.
Check this out. They did it, guys. They did it. They did it.
That.
Yep.
See, that feels like Spider-Man.
This is the proper use of those suits and those actors.
Yes.
They did it. It's about time they did it.
And I have to ask myself, was that directed, or did the three of them just go, you know what? We have an opportunity here.
Yeah.
I mean, this has that Pirates of the Caribbean. No, we're going to do something cool and like it, or, you know.
Yeah. The other thing is, we've got a new mascot.
Yes.
So
Oh,
we
you
need
even
to
got a
name
new
this guy.
mascot. Wow.
Yeah, we need to name him. So feel free to put in the chats a potential name for this guy too. So we're
That
gonna try
might
to
be a
name
good
him over.
prize thing for next week.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a prize for next
Yep.
week.
And
you
we'll be
know.
posting him all over Twitter and Facebook, asking for people to help name him. So he's pretty cool.
Oh, and the names are starting. That or is bacony is just the way to start your day.
Bacon, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Frog G. I appreciate you saying that. It's so good to be back and running. Brandon Bacon.
No, don't say let's go, Brandon Bacon. No, we like bacon.
Crispy.
Crispy
Well,
peas.
that's clever.
That's pretty good too. I like that one too.
Crispy.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember some of these. Yeah, and don't forget if you want books. So far we got one person getting books.
Please do not make me get onto my YouTube live here to type "Give me books" to get free books, because I'll do it. I'm shady, folks. I'm open about it.
Yeah, we got Danny Morales. I'm glad. I am doing well. Thank you for that, and I can't wait to have you back in the store. Can't wait to be back in the store. I'm working on being able to draw a little faster, so that I can do sketch covers again. I'm not really taking commissions yet
One day at a
because
time.
I'm slow.
Don't
slow.
overdo
Yeah,
it.
you need to ease it in there, man. That's
Here's what I want to do.
don't give me
says,
books.
"Don't give me
Someone
books."
says.
Okay, well I won't.
Fine, be that way.
Fine.
Gosh.
But you know what? Here's what I want to do.
And now
I
send
wanna
them
watch
anyway.
I want to
Send
watch
them
the
anyway.
trailer again.
You can't stop me.
We're gonna watch this trailer.
Who am I supposed to trust when everyone sees me as a means to their ends? Where am I supposed to go when I don't exist? How do I know where I belong when I don't even know who I am? I have no real name. I'm just a number to them, a weapon, a pawn in a war I don't want to be involved in. Division M and the Prime Syndicate are two sides of the same coin. They exist because of each other. I exist because of them. I was supposed to be a solution, a way towards peace. But I'm just another problem, a liability, a mistake. I have more enemies than I can count. What am I supposed to do? I can't do this alone. I need friends.
Amazing.
Trailer.
Amazing.
I love that because every time I see it, I see more details. I latched on to Upside Down Cannonball Man.
Yeah.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Or baby face with the fat thing around his neck.
Yeah.
Like
Like-
baby head.
seeing the whole heroes stack up, I need friends, and then upside down cannonball man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kinda
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
back. I'm like, you are the dude who's a good time. I don't know anything else, but I know for sure that you are a good time because you're coming in to the fight in a cannonball, like upside down. You know, I'm here for that. That's the guy who knows where a good sandwich shop is. I swear.
Danny, you definitely need to get some copies of Perfect 10 in your store. So
Danny has his own comic book store.
he works at a comic book store in
wow.
Orlando, Florida, but he procures books for that, especially indie books. He's got a lot of great indie books over there.
So it's not really going well with stores right now, right? So with the comics not really selling that much. The mainstream, I mean, not yours. Yours sell like hotcakes, but the mainstream books, man, it's difficult to sell those, I think.
It's
Some of them are, yeah. I still buy some mainstream. I know.
Oh, you still
and,
buy them? Yeah.
And Joe D was, kind of. He's got his views of what mainstream is, and I respect that. But I still consider mainstream being anything the big two.
Right.
Big two, maybe big three. But yeah, I still buy a couple. I don't like them as much as I used to.
I have a question. Image and Top Cow, are they considered mainstream?
Top Cow is basically Image, right?
Yeah.
There's been mergers and splits, but
I consider it mainstream.
I just was curious at where they fell on the line, because for a long time Top Cow was on a whole different level than either Marvel or DC.
Yeah. It's kind of definition. I used to think that the mainstream was what is part of the culture, so people know it. So a lot of people know something, then it becomes mainstream. Like Spider-Man, everyone knows Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But if you have a book from Image Comics that
like
sells,
The Authority is one.
Yeah, that sells well and everyone knows it, and then that's mainstream too, right?
That's where I don't know. It's
right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually.
Yeah.
It's, the definition.
It's an interesting thing to postulate.
It's almost any company that isn't in the green section of previews. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's
I'm not even
that's
in.
a good.
Not even in the green section. Like the green section is just so far.
Yes. Cool.
But,
so.
Well, I mean,
I think we've had fun today.
Yeah, this has been a blast. Dave,
this was
thank
great,
you so
guys.
much for hanging out with us and sharing. I'll be honest, I'm ready for the animation. So, like, you need to call somebody, get pal with somebody, and just I want to see the Perfect 10 animation come out.
Oh,
so
that
that
would be awesome.
So,
like a Neo Saturday morning with the Hybrids cartoon that needs to happen.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
man.
I'm actually looking to do a 30-second like teaser animation. So far, I've gotten a price quote of $1,500, which is a little bit out of my price range at the moment.
Wow.
30 seconds for $1,500 is a lot of money. So, but yeah, so I'm still looking for potential animators to do a traditional style animation for me.
But
if I find a good one,
I'm not joking. That's one thing I'd like to see more of the independent creators and the CG crowd that I see. I think another big jump will be when we start seeing some of the titles jumping into where people are doing the animated movies, and even if it's just short stuff on YouTube or something, it'll pull a lot of people in, because that's part of I see it as the evolution of the marketing, and it's just another form of storytelling.
Yeah.
But that's me. I'm always sitting here poking. Hey, you're doing awesome. Do more stuff. I got pokey sticks.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick our winners when we go back into the green room after we end the broadcast. Okay, so we'll pick our winners then. And then I'll message you, and you can give me your address, and I will ship you some books. If that sounds like a plan. I think it sounds like a plan. So we'll pick our winners.
Is it okay if we announce it next time? Because I'd like, because I know there are a lot of shows out there that claim contests, and then there's doobie stuff in the background. So putting it all out in the open just as good practice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But I forget things.
Well, that's why you have me here. You
Alright.
said you're low energy, so you brought me. You know. So my job is to fill in the gaps till you feel good enough to do whatever you need to do.
Ooh. There's a random drawing app you can use on their site. StreamYard.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Because I don't know how to do that. But anyway, I've had a good time. Dave, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
sir.
be sure to go and sign up for that mailing list for Perfect 10. Goes live in just about, 11 hours or so?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So definitely check that out. Also, join the sign up mailing list for the long shots. And then also join the mailing list for hybrids, the Killing Field Part 1 through 3. So both of those will be coming out soon.
Yeah. Luke, Nick, thank you guys, man. This was phenomenal. It was great. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
and
we can have you back again. I mean, we got to talk a lot of industry kind of creation stuff, so it's a real privilege for me just to hear all that. And your work is amazing, obviously.
thank you, man. Thank you so much. And Luke, we're so happy you're back, man.
I'm happy to be back. Thanks for being on this debut Nerd Bacon. It's awesome. And
It's Chris
I
P.
think
I like that name, man.
Chris
Keep
P.
that in.
I do like Chris P.
Yeah.
Here,
The P is for Poindexter.
well,
Right.
we love comics, and so does our friend Kiana.
Comics are awesome.
Comics are awesome. And
Yeah, new steam for the win.
Yep. And so this has been our first show. Dave, tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm on Twitter at Genuine Comics. I have an Instagram page called Genuine Comics. I have a Facebook page, Genuine Comics, right? But you can also follow my personal page, Dave Brink, on Facebook. And I have my YouTube channel called Genuine Comics. So follow me there, guys. Yeah. That's basically it. I have mines also, but I never use it.
Nick.
Oh, wow. I'm all over the place. I can be found at Amazon if you want to see my works. Amazon.com/author/Nicholas Docker. My art is at deviantart.com/Nick T. Been there for like 17 years. And I have 2 YouTube channels. The Historical Fencing Guild, where I talk about how you can learn how to sword fight from a budget despite any physical limitations you have. And I review products there. And then I have the Nicholas Tockert channel. You can search these on YouTube, where I do live draws. I'll do whiteboard art, stop motion animation. It's sort of my hodgepodge to have fun channel. So you can find me in all these places. And of course, just hit me up on Twitter at ntockert. That's the best way to really get a hold of me right now, because that's nice and public and easily accessed.
Yeah.
Luke?
Yeah. Well, you can find me at lukestonestudios.com. Makes it really easy. All my social media is over there. Links to Indiegogos are over there. And if you're out there and you have a book that you would like to shill, and you're a good person and not an internet troll, then you can hit me up on any one of those platforms and be a guest on Nerd Bacon. So that's kind of our only rule, is you got to make something good, make something awesome, and not be an internet troll, because internet trolls suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less
Trolls
trolling.
get squashed by trash, man. That's how it
Less
is.
trolling, more loving. Right.
Less trolling, more loving. And let's remember, everybody, to go out there today and try to leave the woodpile a little bit higher than you found it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for being here for this first show. I'm happy to have you all joining us today. And thanks again, Dave and Nick. Look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. Same bacon time, same bacon place. And remember, we're only going to be broadcasting to the Facebook locations for a couple more weeks. We're going to translate everything over to YouTube. So go to Luke Stone Studios on the YouTube and subscribe. Ding that bell so that you can get notifications when we go live. So
Yep.
that's it for us.
Yep.
We are going to sign out and have a good day.
Thanks,
Everybody,
guys.
Thanks,
have a good
guys.
one.
Thanks, Frog, for all the plugs.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Bye.